One, aka Call Me Young, and I'm coming to you right now with the latest Paragon patch. It is B44.3. It is a new patch that just dropped today. I've seen it. I barely seen it today. I thought, hey, might as well let everybody know, just in case you didn't know, because I didn't know until today as well. So, I'm going to be going over some of the patch notes. I'm going to try my best to get the best of the patch notes because I just looked over it. Hey Christian, how you doing? I'm just doing a quick video about the patch notes. So yeah, as I was saying, I was looking over the patch notes today and I just figured, hey, I'll let you guys know. So I'm going to try my best to get the best out of them. I'm not going to read every single detail about it because it is a lot to read. So if you guys want to read it for yourselves, just go ahead, go over to epicgames.com/paragon and you can read the patch notes for yourself. But here we go. So the first thing it mentions is it made a change to the draft lobby. It says to help support the new lane meta, we made some changes to the draft. Players must now highlight a position before picking their hero, increasing the awareness to the team. Draft also receives a visual update and permanently shows off if you're on the dawn or the dusk side. So what they're getting at is right there. I'm about to jump into the next one. It says now Fang Tooth Lane is now recommended to be a 2v2 lane. So basically, the carry and support versus the carry and support. Hey Christian, I'm fine. How are you this morning, man? I'm glad to see you. Yeah, so now guys, that is a big change. So now it's no longer going to be a two versus one. It's not going to be, the solo offlaner versus the carry and support. No, it is now going to be 2v2 carry support versus carry support. And now there's going to be a solo lane. So the Prime Guardian, aka the Prime Orb side, is going to be the solo lane 1v1. So that is a big difference. I wonder how people are going to adjust to that. People are so accustomed to, the 2 versus 1, feeling like they have the advantage. Well, no longer, so you're going to have to change how you approach things, and that's going to make it very interesting. So I like that change there. So, and just to let you know, the mid and jungle roles are still the same. So, still solo, mid lane, and still just the jungle. So, you can gank accordingly, and you're gonna have to really think how you change how you approach the game now. So now it says also a free look camera feature has been added. It says players can activate to rotate the camera around their hero. Now it has a new buff. In the solo lane, there's a new buff. It replaces the gold camp, and it's called the aqua buff. The aqua buff, um, it grants health regen. Okay, it grants health regen. The initial spawn time has also been changed from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. Okay, so it says the aqua buff now grants an orb which increases your health regen by 15 for 15 seconds. So I'm glad that's kind of in that solo lane, that 1v1 lane, because you're just gonna have to fight for it. Whoever gets that orb is gonna have a small advantage for those 15 seconds because of that health regen. Okay, so now the gold drip, just in case you guys didn't notice or anything like that, the gold drip is basically you can just stand there and just you're receiving gold over time. You keep receiving gold. So you know how in the beginning of the game, some people they stood at the base and just waited so they can get 300 gold, so they can equip a ward or something like that. Well, the gold drip has been reduced per minute from 360 to 240 gold. So it's going to take you a little bit longer to get to what you want whenever, just throughout the whole game. So now it says increased amount of gold shared when a teammate gets a last hit. So this right here is big. So an example is it says teammate gets amount of gold share from 40% to 50%. And now the minions will now grant a portion of their gold bounty to nearby heroes if they die to something other than the hero. So that's basically saying if their minions are killed by the tower or another minion, you both, whoever's in the lane, still gets that gold. You get 60% of that last hit gold if it's one hero around, 60% if it's two heroes, 40% for three, 30% for four, and 24% for five. So, they gave an example of that using 100 gold as an example. So, let's say 100 gold is on the line, right? If it's just you by yourself, if you get that last hit, you get 100 gold. If you don't get that last hit, you still get 60 gold. Christian says, down, that's a lot of updates. Yeah, man, I'm not even halfway done. That's why I said I'm gonna try my best to just run through the more important things, because it's a lot of patch notes. It's a lot. Okay, so yeah, so basically, if you don't get the last hit, you still get some gold. That's what that's basically saying. The amount of gold you get is determined by how many heroes are around. So I'm going to skip past all that because it explains a lot about that. Okay, so it says adjusted hero XP bounties, reducing them at early levels but increasing them towards mid and late game. Hero XP bounties are based on level of hero which died. So basically, that's saying that um, the more later in the game we get, the more XP you will get for killing heroes. That's the way I take it. Uh, so yeah, that's that. I'm gonna skip over this little stuff. Also, there was a combat and movement slow penalty. I'm not gonna get too deep into the numbers, but just a couple of them I'm gonna read out to you guys. It says reduced strafe penalty from 30 to 15%, reduced backpedal penalty from 20 to 15%, and reduced range combat penalty from 40 to 25%. There's a lot more numbers. I don't want to get too deep into that because I want to get to the more juicier parts, like the hero updates and things like that. But basically, your movement speed has either been reduced or in the instance of, I'm going to read this increased. It says increased duration of range combat penalties from 80% to 100% of the attack cycle. So I'm guessing that most of the time you're going to get a combat penalty for range heroes and a combat penalty for melee heroes, okay? So now skipping down to Fangtooth. Fangtooth, you get adjusted, the Fangtooth got adjusted health from 4,000 to 2,900, so that was a little health nerf. Also, it got an adjusted basic defense from 65 to 40%. Christian says, I just shared to me to some Facebook friends. All right, thank you, Christian. I very much appreciate it. Everyone who's joined my stream, welcome. I'm just doing a Paragon patch 44.3. It just came out. So I'm reading down some of the things right now. Okay, so yeah, back to Fangtooth. So yeah, the adjusted basic defense is from 65 to 40, and it increased the spawn time from 2 minutes to 5 minutes. So that's a big difference, a 3-minute difference. So now people just can't pay too much attention to that Fangtooth because between that time they're gonna need to watch their own back. Okay, so basically what I got from Fangtooth, that now basic damage is increased against it. That's what I got from that. Now the Prime Guardian, it has an adjusted health from 5,980 to 3,800. So that is a big health difference, okay? Also, they adjusted the basic defense from 65 to 40. So again, basic damage is going to do the most damage against the Prime Orb, and I'll tell you why. That is because the Prime Guardian got an increased ability defense from 35 to 60. So guys, when you attack the prime orb, just go ahead and save your mana. Go ahead and save your mana, okay? That's the best thing because the abilities don't do as much damage to it as they used to. You could still probably, set a couple of turrets down with Iggy, or if you feel like it, hit it with a rock or two. If you feel like the enemy team is coming close and you want to hurry up and get that prime orb. But once again, the basic defense has been decreased on Prime Orb, and ability defense has been increased, okay? Also, it got a reduced homing projectile base damage from 95 to 85. So you know those things that it shoots out at you, that has got a little nerf. Also, it has increased the knockback base damage from 150 to 350. So that move, when it knocks everybody back, that has got an increase in damage. It also increased slow cone base damage from 200 to 300, and it has increased their prime helix gold bounty from 816 to 900. Okay, so that is I felt like that's an important thing that I should have mentioned. Now, the structures. I don't know if you guys knew, but early game, the towers had a early game bonus defense duration, okay? Well, that has been decreased from 7 minutes to 5 minutes, okay? And also, it reduced the early game bonus defense from 150 to 120. Also, it increased tower defense penetration from 50% to 75%. And here we go, guys. Increased tower 1 damage from 182 to 200. Increased tier 2 tower health from 2500 to 2800. So basically what I got from that is the tier 1 towers, they do more damage to you, and the tier 2 towers have higher health than they used to, okay? Also, increased inhibitor basic defense from 65 to 80. So basically, the inhibitors got a higher defense now, guys. Higher defense. And then it just talks about the gold bounty for the killing a structure, destroying a structure. It says increased structure gold bounty for nearby heroes from 204 to 300. And it says reduced tier 1 tower gold bounty global payout from 224 to 200 for tier 1 towers, sorry about that. For tier 2 towers from 292 to 200, and inhibitors from 292 to 200. So basically it's reduced gold when you destroy towers, okay guys? Now another big update they just had was the jungle. They increased the large jungle minions health from 980 to 1100. They increased the green buff health from 1500 to 1550, which is basically 1500 to 1550. Also, they increased the black buff minion health from 1500 to 1550. Okay guys, so basically the jungle minions, like the large jungle minions, the jungle the green buff and the black buff, they got increased health, okay? Also, they reduced the spawn time of the green and black buff camps from a minute 30 seconds to a minute 20 seconds. So just a 10-second difference. Sorry about that. Now, then they just explain basically you get increased minion XP and increased minion gold bounty throughout the jungle, guys. So I'm not going to go too deep into those numbers. It's a lot of it. If I keep reading everything, we will get through it, but it'll be a lot. If you guys want to read every little detail, go ahead, go to epicgames.com. But just a little example of that is they just increased the large jungle minion gold bounty from 150 to 215, and they also increased the small minion XP from 15 to 20, things like that. So it's just a good little buff, or just an adjustment to the jungle. Okay, now the lane minions, I'm going to go over this really quick. Increase the amount of time before minions are added to the waves. Minions will now be added on the 30th, 40th, and 60th waves. Previously, it was on the 22nd, 38th, and 58th waves. So basically, it's going to add more minions on those waves, okay, guys? Now, they reduced the minion movement speed from 700 to 660, okay, guys? So what that means is the minions are going to be moving slower. So if you want to hurry up and push those lanes, you might want to, use your gadget ability to speed them up, or Narbash, or anyone who has some type of speed boost for the minions. Go ahead and use those heroes if you want to push faster, because the movement speed for the minions in lane are lowered, okay? Alright, thanks Christian, I'm glad you're back. Alright, also, oh, I love this one. Okay, so they reduced the siege minion damage versus heroes from 75% to 20. I cannot explain how glad I am that they did this. So if you guys don't understand that, the siege minions are the bigger minions that are in the back of the minion waves, okay? The bigger ones that shoot those, bigger beams. Their damage versus us has been reduced greatly from 75 to 20%. I cannot explain how many times where I've been in a fight with the enemy hero and I end up killing them, but because they had minions around, specifically the siege minion, I got killed by the minions, okay? That is great. That is just great. I love that they did that. Also, um, they reduced the super minion health from 1200 to 1100. So also they adjusted the melee minion ability defense from 42 to 30. Okay. Also, the range minion ability defense went from 42 to 30. So what I get from that is abilities and their um, defense are reduced, okay, guys, from all the minions. And then they just got some stuff where they increased the gold bounty from all the minions, basically. All the minions, when you destroy them, you get a slightly increase in gold, okay, guys? A good thing, they say knockups. All knockups have had their height reduced and made consistent across the board. Also, knockups are now always accompanied by a stun that persists beyond the knockup duration. So basically, if you get knocked up, let's just say by Bellica, prime example, when you get knocked up, after that knockup, it's going to be a small stun. Okay, it's going to be a small stun. It doesn't say how long the stun is going to be, but it's probably going to be significant enough to really get you killed. Okay, guys, just put it like that. Also, the respawn times have been increased from 7 seconds to 10 seconds. So, guys, be careful that you don't die a lot, because now it looks like we're going to be waiting more and more time each time we get killed. Okay, guys, so just heads up on that. Okay, and it's talking about bots. I don't really care about that, but if you guys care about the bots, be sure to go check it out. Hero unlocks. It says adjusted the levels in which heroes unlock. There are now 4 tiers at levels 3, 5, 10, and 15. So I'm not sure what that means. I don't want to just put out false information about that, guys. So sorry that I can't explain that. But that's interesting. It says there are now 4 tiers at which heroes unlock, which is levels 3, 5, 10, and 15. I haven't played a game yet, so I'm not sure what that means. So I'll be sure to probably come back at you guys with another video if I get a better understanding of that. Then there's just polish and bug fixing. So if you guys want to go look at that, you guys go ahead and go to the epicgames.com to read those patches. So now, here is what I've been waiting for. Hero balances, or another word is a buff or a nerf, okay? First hero it has Oh no, one of my mains, guys, Aurora. They have increased the cooldown for her Horror Frost ability from 8 seconds to 10 seconds. So it's a 2-second increase. That is pretty significant for me because Horror Frost, it really helps you escape or it helps you trap the enemy hero. So that's big for me. Cryosism. It says primary explosion base damage, and if you, in case you guys are wondering, I believe this is her ult. So primary explosion base damage reduced from 187, 246, 304 to 158, 207, and 256. So what I see from that, guys, is Aurora's ult has got nerfed. It also says primary explosion power scaling reduced from 2.09 to 1.76. Secondary explosion base damage reduced from 75, 98, 122 to 63, 83, and 102. So basically, guys, Aurora has gotten nerfed, and it really kind of makes me mad because Aurora is one of my favorite heroes to use. She's really one of my mains. So that really sucks to hear that her ult has gotten nerfed. Okay, everything about it has gotten reduced. So that's not good. Um, Also, her general balance, it says basic defense decreased from 33.1 to 23.4. Also, her basic defense per level has been increased from 1.8 to 2.2. Also, her basic attack damage has been increased from 64.1 to 66.7. Also, her basic attack damage per level has been decreased from 2.9 to 2.5. Oh wow, okay. Also, her movement speed has been decreased from 725 to 680. So guys, Aurora has gotten nerfed. That's the big that's the big sum of it all right there. Aurora has gotten nerfed. Now, Countess. Blade Siphon has been increased. The damage has been increased from 88, 135, 181, 228 to 105, 152, 199, and 246. So basically, per level, each time you upgrade that ability, it gets stronger. So it's just she got a buff, okay? Shadow Slip. Slow magnitude increased from 20% at all levels to 42, 45, 48, and 51%. And also the slow duration increased at all levels from 1 second to 1.5 seconds, okay? So she has gotten a buff, basically. Okay, right here it says basic defense decreased from 19.2 to 13.6. Also, basic defense per level increased from 2 to 2.3. And she got in a movement speed decrease as well, from 695 to 655. Okay, so she got some. Basically, guys, her blade siphon has been increased. So that's basically the move that everyone does after the ult. Okay, now to crunch. His forward crunch ability now applies a 30% slow for 1.5 seconds at all levels. The unempowered, which is basically his non-ult form of it, the range has been decreased from 1700 U's to 1350. So that's a difference. Also, the empowered dash range has been decreased as well, the same 1700 to 1350 U's. The cooldown has been increased from 8 seconds to 14 seconds at all levels, and the mana cost has decreased from 60 to 50 at all levels. His left crunch, oh my gosh, see, all of the people I love to use, all of the heroes I love to use, it seems like so far they are getting a nerf. So Crunch's left crunch base damage has been decreased from 80, and this is per level, guys, when I'm saying all these numbers. Base damage for left crunch has been decreased from 88, 146, 205, and 263 to 70, 123, 176, and 228. Also, the power scaling has been decreased from 2.09 to 1.88. The cooldown, though, has been decreased from 6 seconds to 4 seconds at all levels, and the mana cost has been decreased from 50 to 30%. Looks like left crunch ability has been nerfed. Also, right crunch looks like it's been nerfed. The base damage for right crunch has been decreased per level from 76, 129, 181, 234 all the way to 70, 117, 164, and 211. Okay, guys. Um. Oh wow. Okay. Now this is a significant change for right crunch. All of you crunch players, listen up. His right crunch no longer applies a slow, but now it applies a point 0.5 second stun. Okay, that's for the unempowered version of right crunch, which is basically the little, I guess you could say the little under jab. Okay, that now applies a stun instead of a slow. So I guess I would like a stun better. Um, it helps. It helps. Now the empowered version of the right crunch now also stuns for a duration of 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and 2 seconds. So that is a change to crunch, guys. His right crunch has been slightly changed and no longer does a slow, it does a stun, okay? But the cooldown has increased from 8 to 11 seconds at all levels, but the mana cost has decreased from 75 to 50 at all levels. Now, the re-crunch, which is Crunch's ult, the mana cost has been decreased from 50 to 30 at all levels. Also, his general balance, health per level decreased from 81.5 to 76.4. Health regen has been decreased as well from 0.14 to 0.13. Basic defense decreased from 34.8 to 24.6. Basic defense per level has been increased slightly by, it says 2.3 to 2.7. And basic attack damage has been increased from 60.8 to 63.2. Also, his basic damage per level has been decreased from 2.5 to 2.4, and movement speed has been decreased from 710 to 655. So basically, guys, Crunch has gotten nerfed. The only big change about him is his right crunch now applies a stun instead of a slow. Okay, guys. Okay, moving on to Decker. Her rocket boots mana cost decreased from 60 to 25. Also, her cooldown has been decreased at all levels for that. Stasis bomb now increased stun duration from zero point 0.5 seconds, 1 second, 1.5, and 2 seconds, all the way to 1.2, 1.5, 1.8, and 2.1 seconds. Okay, guys. Also, her slow bubble damage has been increased by a good amount. 105, 164, 222, and 284, all the way to 123, 176, 228, and 281. Okay, guys, that's per level. Also, her scaling has decreased on that ability from 2.09 to 1.88, and then she got a general balance. Base mana regen increased from 1.67 to 1.82. Basic defense decreased from 19.2 to 13.6. Also, movement speed has been decreased from 675 to 640 as well. So it seems like so far, guys, every hero that I'm reading about, the movement speed has been lowered. Okay. Now, Drongo, old Rusty. His old Rusty ability mana cost increase from 75, 90, 105, and 102 per level, all the way to 90, 100, 110, and 120. So basically, what that's saying is his mana, uh, the mana cost to use that ability has increased. Rad rounds now displays bullet count on your reticle for increased clarity. Damage decreased, guys, on that per level. Basically, I'm not going to keep going through all the numbers. If you guys want to see all the numbers, go ahead and check that out. But the damage has been decreased on rad rounds per level, guys. Okay. Also, his power scaling has increased. I'm going to go ahead and read this for you guys who like the numbers. Power scaling increased from 1.5, 1.66, 1.82, 1.98, 2.14, and 2.3, all the way to 1.54, 1.66, or 68, I'm sorry, 1.82, 2.04, 2.14, and 2.36, okay? And then they nerfed his basic defense from 18.1 to 12.9. Also, basic defense per level has been increased from 2.3 to 2.5. Basic attack damage has increased from 56.2. Wait, how's that an increase? From 56.2 to 52.9. And I think they meant decreased on that, guys, because that number just lowered. So I think that's a typo on their end. Also, basic attack damage per level decreased from 4.1 to 3.8, okay? And also, movement speed has been nerfed. Hey, Phantom, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I'm going over all these patch notes. It's a lot of notes, so guys, please bear with me. I'm not going to go over every single detail as far as all the numbers, because if I do that, this will turn out to be a damn, 30-minute, 40-minute video. So I'm trying to get all the good things, good juicy things out of this, okay, guys? Okay, so that was just for Django. Now we're to Fang Mao. His Reaping Dash, it says, will now collide with heroes and minions while targeting. And it says the intention is to improve the consistency of the ability rather than having different rules for heroes and minions. Okay, so now range increase from 900 to 1050 at all levels. Okay, also bonus damage percent increase from 45%, 70, 95, 120, all the way to 75%, 100, 125, and 150%. So it looks like his Reaping Dash ability for Fang Mao has gotten a slight buff, I may say. Guardian Shield. His shield has gotten an increase at each level. I'm not going to go over all the numbers, but just know that it has gotten a slight buff, okay, guys? Also, his duration, the Guardian Shield's duration has been decreased from 3 seconds to 2 seconds at all levels. Also, the cooldown for his Guardian Shield has been increased from 7 to 8 seconds at all levels, and the mana cost has been decreased from 50 to 40 at all levels, okay, guys? Crippling Strikes. It says slow magnitude increase from 20, 23, 26, and 29% all the way to 30, 35, 40, and 45%. Slow duration from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds. Okay, so now his ult, Imperial Sentence, I believe that's his ult. I'm not a Fang Mao player, but I'm pretty sure that's his ult. It says cooldown has decreased, let me see, from 90, 80, and 70 seconds to 70, 60, and 50 seconds. So you will now get his ult more sooner, guys. Um, and then his basic defense has been decreased from 25.2 to 17.9. Um, Defense per level increased from 3.2 to 3.7. Also, his basic attack damage has been increased from 59.4 to 64.8. Also, basic attack damage per level decreased from 3.3 to 3.1, and also just like all the other heroes, movement speed has been decreased from 700 to 660. If you guys are now just joining, I just explained the Fang Mao nerf slash buff. Okay, guys, thank you for joining. Now on to Gadget. Her seek and destroy ability, the slow magnitude has been increased per level, guys. Increased per level. Her speed gate ability has been, let's see, the speed boost magnitude has basically gotten a small buff from 25, 30, 35, and 40% to 30, 35, 40, and 45%. Okay, guys. Her ult, the Tesla Dome, the slow magnitude has been increased from 50% to 75%, guys. And then she has her basic defense decreased from 19.2 to 13.6. Her basic defense per level has been increased from 2 to 2.3. And just like everybody else, um, her movement speed has been decreased from 685 to 645. So basically, Gadget has gotten a small buff, but I like that. I play as Gadget sometimes, so Gadget has gotten a little small buff. Okay, guys, Gideon. I know this is going to catch a lot of people's attention. I'm now going to explain the Gideon's patch notes, okay? Now, his Void Breach. The base damage for Void Breach has been decreased at all levels from 140, 240, 339, 439 to 117, 170, 220, and 275. Wow, that is a good nerf. I guess you can say I'm a Gideon hater, guys. I cannot stand Gideon. Um, his Void Breach has gotten nerfed. The power scaling as well has been decreased from 3.55 to 1.88, and it now applies a 25, 28%, 31, and 34% slow for 2 seconds, okay? And the cooldown has been increased from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. So all of you Gideon lovers out there, the Void Breach ability has been nerfed, okay? Now, Cosmic Rift. The damage has been increased at all levels from 117, 170, 222, and 275 to 117, 205, 293, and 380. So that's a good buff for the Cosmic Rift ability. The power scaling on that has also been increased from 1.88 to 3.13, and it no longer slows. So the Cosmic Rift, it doesn't slow anymore, but it has got a significant buff, guys. Also, Torn Space, I think that's his ability. I mean, his escapes, I'm sorry. Cooldown has been increased at all levels from 12, 11, 10, and 9 seconds to 15, 13, 11, and 9. So the cooldown on that has been increased, guys. So it's going to take you guys a little longer to get those abilities, okay? Black Hole. Now let's see. Black Hole Stun now reapplies on every damage instance. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay. Wow. So I don't know. So a lot of people has been complaining about how they should decrease his stun and things like that. Um, it doesn't look like that's happened, guys. It says black hole stun now reapplies on every damage instant. So as you're getting damage from his ult, I take it that the stun is just gonna keep reapplying, guys. Not okay. I don't see what's the big change right there, but um, okay. And also his basic defense has decreased from 21.1 to 15. Basic defense per level increased from 2.3 to 2.6, and his movement speed has been decreased from 690 to 650. Okay, guys, now on to Greystone. Thank you for everyone who's been watching me so far. I know it's been a long process, but we're getting there. We're getting there, guys. Okay, Greystone. Assault the Gates. Mana cost has been decreased from 60 to 50. Damage increased per level from 70, 105, 140, and 175 to 99, 135, 170, and 205. His Make a Way ability, mana cost decreased at all levels, guys. That's how much. I'm gonna put it like that. Reforged. It says corrected an issue which would cause Greystone to become vulnerable before he was able to move. Adjusted timing of respawn so that Greystone is able to move a half second earlier and retains invulnerability a half a second longer. Cooldown has been decreased at all levels. Okay, and then he got a basic defense decrease from 21.4 to 15.2. Basic defense per level has been increased from 2.6 to 2.9. Base attack damage has been increased from 59.4 to 64.8, and also basic damage has been decreased per level from 4.1 to 3.7. Also, his movement speed has been decreased as well from 705 to 665. Okay, now on to Grim X. So his suppression mode, the move speed slow has been increased from 10, 15, 25, and 25% to 30, 36, 42, and 48%, guys. Also, the mana cost for that ability has been decreased from 14, 21, 28, and 35 per level to 10, 15, 25, or 20 and 25. Then he also got a basic defense decrease from 17.3 to 12.2. Also, basic defense per level increased from 2.2 to 2.6, and the movement speed has been decreased from 700 to 660. Okay, guys, now this is probably, besides Gideon, this is probably going to be the most paid attention to hero adjustment. Now we're going to get on Grux, my boys. We're getting to Grux. Now his ability, Double Pain, can no longer critically hit. The tooltip now indicates per level multiplier growth. Mana cost decreased from 40 to 20 per levels. Okay, so what I get from that is, if my assumption is right, the Double Pain can no longer critically hit. So I wonder if that has to do with Deathcrawler, guys. So we will see. If anyone plays the game and they see that they're not doing that crazy damage no more, man, that's going to be a significant nerf, okay? So Double Pain can no longer critically hit. Now, his Crush, which is basically his stun, now additionally stuns for a duration of 1.2, 1.4, 1.6, and 1.8 seconds. His Smash and Grab, it says, fixed an issue where ability was not pulling enemy heroes who were on an elevated surface and towards the side of a targeting wedge. Okay, Christian says, later, are you playing Paragon? Yes, I'm playing Paragon later on. 5 p.m. guys. Do not miss it. Do not miss it, okay? I'm actually going to play in a little bit, but I'm not going to stream, okay? I'm not going to stream because I want to see what these updates are talking about. Then later on, as I'm playing, I will talk about some of the things that I've noticed and some of the things I like and dislike about it, okay, guys? Alright, so, back to Grux. So yeah, his smash and grab, they just fixed a couple issues with it. Okay, Warlord's Challenge, which is basically his ult, can no longer be interrupted mid-cast from crowd control. Okay, so basically guys, you cannot interrupt his ult when he's ulting, when he's doing his ult animation, you cannot interrupt that mid-cast from any CC move, which is basically a stun, a knock-up, anything like that, okay guys? Also, his mana per level has been increased from 12 to 15. Mana regen per level has been increased from 0.0 or 0.04 to 0.05. His basic defense has been decreased from 34.8 to 24.6. His basic defense per level has been increased from 2.3 to 2.6. His basic attack damage has been increased from 64.8 to 67.4. Also, his basic attack damage per level has been decreased from 4 to 3.8, and his movement speed has been decreased. So basically, guys, long story short, it looks like, from my assumption, don't quote me on this, guys, because I'm not the creators themselves, but it looks like his double pain is the biggest thing that has happened to Grux. His double pain no longer critically hits, okay? So I wonder, is that going to affect the Deathcrawler build? Because as you guys know, a Grux will have Deathcrawler on, they'll come, they'll do the smash and grab, and then they double pain, and you're usually gone. You're melted. But if what I think is going to happen, double pain looks like it might not be affected by Deathcrawler. But that's one of the things I want to try out, okay guys? Okay, now on to Howitzer. Slow grenades. Movement speed has been increased at all levels, guys. Also, his landmine, it says corrected an issue which would cause Howitzer to remove his own spell shield or damage himself with spell burn. Okay, that's pretty good. Also, the cooldown on landmine has been decreased from 13 seconds to 11 seconds at all levels. His ult, Make It Rain, the cooldown has been decreased from 105, 95, 85 to 100, 85, and 70, okay? So you will get Howitzer's ult back sooner. And then also it just has a little general balance. His basic defense has decreased from 20.2 to 14.3. Basic defense has been increased from 2 to 2.3, and movement speed has decreased from 695 to 655. Okay, Iggy and Scorch. Oh my gosh. He has gotten another nerf, guys. This is like my favorite hero. He is my highest ranked hero, and he has gotten another nerf. So basically, I'm lost for words. They brung Iggy back to life in the V42 update when they gave him his new abilities and just his new kit. They gave Iggy a new kit, and ever since then, there's been so many people complaining about, oh, Iggy's OP. You know, he can go 1v5, he can go 1v4. Okay, I get that they'll nerf him once, but once again, guys, let me go ahead and read these notes. This is really upsetting for me because Iggy is like my best hero. Flame turret. Turret base damage has been decreased per level, guys. I'm not going to even get into the numbers, but has been decreased. Also, the turret power scaling has been decreased from 0.58 to 0.5. His blaze, which is his ult, base damage has been decreased at all levels, guys. I'm not going to get into the numbers. Just know that it's a significant nerf for Iggy, guys. They nerfed Iggy once again. Power scaling for his ult has been decreased from 4.37 to 3.59. Also, his general balance, basic basic defense decreased. Basic basic defense per level has been increased. Basic attack damage has been increased from 52.7 to 54.8. Basic attack damage per level has been decreased from 2.3 to 2.2, and its movement speed has been nerfed as well from 710 to 670. So, a summary about Iggy, he has gotten a nerf, another nerf. Okay, guys. Kalari, Shadow Walk, mana cost decreased from 60 to 30. Movement speed bonus increased from 10% to 15%. Okay, nice, nice. Crippling Dagger, the slow magnitude has been increased from 40 to 65%. The slow duration as well has been increased from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. So I believe that's a good small buff for Kalari, guys. That's a good small buff. Also, her basic defense has been decreased from 20.2 to 14.3. Basic defense per level increased from 2.6 to 3. And base attack damage has been increased from 56.4 to 61.6. And her basic attack damage per level has decreased from 3.1 to 2.8. And her move speed has been nerfed as well from 680 to 640. So it looks like Kalari's Crippling Dagger and Shadow Walk abilities have gotten a buff, and you know that's the main thing about her. Okay, Chimera, guys, we're almost. I hope we're almost done. Chimera, his ambush, the slow duration increased from 1 second at all levels to 2 seconds. Okay, mana cost decreased from 65 to 40. Unleash, the damage scaling has been increased from, I'm sorry, the damage scaling reduction has been increased at all levels, guys. I'm not going to get deep into the numbers, but it's been increased at all levels. Also, the mana cost for that ability has been decreased. And then it just goes over a general balance. Basically, the attack damage has his base attack damage has been increased from 59.4 to 64.8. And also his attack damage per level has been decreased from 3.6 and 3 to 3.4, and his move speed has been decreased as well. Okay, guys. Quang, Light of Heavens, mana cost decreased at all levels. Also, the damage increased at all levels, and defense bonus duration is increased from 2.5 seconds to 5 seconds. Okay, so that's a buff, I guess, for Quang. Judgment of the Heavens. Tether now only works on heroes. The sword still damages minions upon landing, but should no longer tether them. Mana cost decreased from 100 to 75, and the damage has been increased at each ability level, guys. And the duration has been increased at each level as well. Fury of the Heavens. Damage increased from 211. So basically, the damage at each upgrade of the ability has been increased per level, and the scaling has been increased from 3.13 to 3.34. The cooldown has been decreased from 110, 95, 80 to 80, 65, and 50. The mana cost has as well been decreased from 100 to 75. The move speed slow has been increased from 30 to 40%, and the duration of the move speed slow has been increased from 2 to 3 seconds. And then he just got a general balance, just like everyone else. I'm just going to read the basic attack damage has been increased from 59.4 to 64.8, but his basic attack damage per level has been decreased from 3.9 to 3.4. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Lieutenant Bellica. The stunt for her seismic assault, this is the only change about her. Her seismic assault, which is basically her stun. The stun duration has been increased from 0.5, 1.5, and 2 seconds to 1.4, 1.6, 1.8, and 2 seconds, guys. So her stun duration has been increased. As well, she just got her move speed decreased. And it says polish and bug fixing updates to basic attack, void bomb, and seismic assault effects for improved visual clarity. Okay, Morgus is just a general balance. Her basic defense has been decreased. Her basic defense per level has been increased, and movement speed decreased. Murdoch, same thing, just a general balance. Basic defense decrease, basic defense per level decrease, and movement speed decreased. Okay, Muriel, movement speed magnitude increased from 22. So basically, it's been increased from all levels. Okay, um, and also the duration increased from 2 seconds at all levels to 2.5, or 2.25. I'm sorry, 2.5 and 2.75 at all levels. This is for her. I don't know how to pronounce that. Alacrity, however it's pronounced. Let's see what else. Okay, her next ability, the consecrated ground, shield magnitude increased at all levels, guys. From 205, 310, 415, 521 to 216, 322, 427, and 532. Okay, her serenity ability, damage increase from basically damage increase at all levels, guys. Power scaling is also increased on that ability from 1.67 to 2.72. And the slow magnitude has been decreased at all levels. Okay, reversal of fortune now cleanses the shielded ally. Okay, that's nice. Slow duration decreased from 2.2 seconds to 1.5, and the slow magnitude has been increased from 60% to 75%. And then she just got a little general balance as well. Narbash, his thunk ability, the stun duration has been increased at each level. For basically it's been increased, guys, at each of the ability levels. So as you level it higher, the duration will go higher. March, his march ability, the movement speed has been increased per level, guys. So that's a good thing. Song of My People, it says now generates a healing aura that ticks twice per second for 10, 15, 20, and 25 health regen. Okay. Wait, hold on. It says for second health previously granted health regen. Overall healing is unchanged. Okay. So his ult, crash, bang, boom. Damage has been increased at each level, guys. Power scaling has also increased from 4.6 to 4.81. And now his knockup now stuns for a duration of 1.5 seconds when the knockup is applied. So after his ult, basically, guys, is going to be another stun for 1.5 seconds, okay? After the knockup is applied. And the power scaling of his ult has now increased as well. And then he got a general balance. Phase. It says telekinetic telekinetic link. Sorry guys, I'm very sick right now. I have a very stuffy nose, so it's affecting how I'm talking. Bear with me here. Okay, the link. The way this ability functions has been adjusted. Now requires confirmation to create a link with an allied hero rather than auto confirming. Wow. Okay, now requires confirmation. Okay, guys, so it says to pull a linked teammate, press the ability once to begin the ability, then re-press the ability button to pull them out of harm's way. Okay, and it says it's now able to pull stunned or rooted allied heroes. I think that's really good. So if I get this straight, that means if you're caught within Gideon's ult, that means she should be able to pull you, as long as she's outside of the ult, she should be able to pull you out of that ult. So that could be a good Gideon counter, guys. Phase's link can now pull a stunned or rooted allied hero away. So that should be a good Gideon counter right there. Fudmanor, he says, play please. Alright. I'll play as soon as I'm done doing this, guys. There's a little bit left, but yeah, so basically she got her psychic flare damage has been increased from it's just been increased. Her energy lance, the root duration has been increased as well. Rampage, his rumble mana cost has been decreased. Also his boulder throw, it says, will now explode if it hits the ground instead of a hero, affecting the nearest enemy hero within a radius of 200 U. Now has a camera mode when holding the boulder that zooms in and off to the side. Okay. King of the Jungle, mana cost decrease from 40 to 20 at all levels. Health regen decreased at all levels as well. He said, what do you think about lane changes? Okay, the lane changes, I like them. I really like them. Basically, instead of it being an off laner going 1 versus 2, that is now going to be a 2v2. It's going to be a carry and it's going to be a support versus carry and support. So it's going to be 2v2, and also it's going to be a 1v1 lane, okay? So now it's just going to be 1v1, which is called the solo lane, and it's going to be a 2v2 lane. The mid lane and jungler stay the same, but I really like the lane changes. The lane changes are really good in my opinion, because now it's not going to be you can just be reckless, you know, and the carry. The carry and support cannot be reckless no more, because the odds are even now. So you're gonna really have to strategize how you go about approaching people. So I really like the lane changes. By the way, thanks for joining. Okay, so that's Rampage. Also in Rage, it says Rampage now pushes through minions more easily while enraged. Okay. So, and then he just got a polish and bug fixing. Right now, guys, I'm going to speed it up a little bit because I realize I've been streaming, talking about the changes way too long, but this has been a huge patch, guys. So, sorry that this is so long. I'm very sorry. I'm also, instead of streaming my gameplay on this, I'm going to close this one when I'm done with this, and I'm going to start up a new stream where it's gameplay, okay? So I won't get the two mixed up. Alright, Revenant. His Scar ability now applies a stacking of 10% slow for 1 second when dealing Scar bonus damage. His Reckoning now applies a 0.5 second root to the target and can now be cast while moving. Okay, nice. So his ult can be cast while moving, nice. And then he just got a general balance. Rictor shock therapy animation speed has increased. Cooldown has increased at all levels. Basic damage increased. Power scaling increased. And slow magnitude has been increased. Slow duration increased. So basically shock therapy has gotten a good little buff. Electrocute. The radius has increased from 375 U to 500 U. And then he just got a general balance. Okay. Sereth, her chastise ability. Cooldown has increased from 8 seconds to 14 seconds at all levels. The slow magnitude has increased from 20% to 25%. Also, her Heaven's Fury mana cost decreased from 40 to 25%, and Ascend, which is basically her escape, mana cost decreased from 65 to 45. The range has been increased from 1200 U to 1350 U at all levels, and also damage increase has been increased at each level. Power scaling has been decreased from 1.88 to 1.04. And her here's, I don't know how to pronounce that, Hersey, however the hell you pronounce it, mana cost decreased from 75 to 50%. I mean, 75 to 50 at all levels. Then she just got a general balance. She has gotten attack damage. Her basic attack damage has been increased from 59.4 to 64.8. Sephiroth, it's just a lot of stuff to go through, guys. It is a lot to go through. So right there, though, I feel like I went through a majority of the people. If you guys want to catch up, if you guys want to know every little detail about every hero, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot left, guys. Cause I kind of want to get to the card changes as well, because yeah, this stream is going on a long time. But yeah, guys, basically go ahead, head over to epicgames.com. It's been a lot of changes, It's to the point where I've been streaming this for an hour and 6 minutes, and I'm still not done. I'm almost done, but I'm still not done. So yeah, guys, if you guys want to read the rest of the heroes, let go ahead and head over to Epic Games. But yeah, so that was Seraph. Looks like Sephiroth has gotten a change as well. Shinbi. Okay, I'll go over Shinbi because it's not that much. Her line tempo ability damage has been increased per level. Sparrow, her piercing shot mana cost has been decreased. Her hail of arrows cooldown decreased from 10 seconds to 8 seconds. Mana cost has been decreased from 75 to 50 at all levels. Relentless, max stacks has been increased from 5 to 10, and the percent bonus damage has been decreased as well. Still, his bulwark now gains collision instantly instead of after the visual effects have been finished drawing. Shield bash, damage has been increased at all levels of that ability. Scaling has increased as well from 1.04 to 1.67, and stun duration 0.5 seconds at all levels. From stun duration has been increased, guys. Shield slam, stun duration adjusted from 2 seconds at all levels to 1.5, 2, and 2.5 seconds. Okay, the Fae looks like her bramble patch movement speed has been slowed or increased at all levels. Her fly trap now applies a stun for 1 second to pull targets. Pull delay decreased from 1.25 seconds to 0.3 seconds. Vines no longer break when the plant's line of sight is broken. Twin Blast, his grenade damage has been increased. The slow has been increased as well, and the mana cost has been decreased. Ventilate. I'm not going to go over all those numbers, but if you guys want to get over that, go ahead and read that. Wraith, his knock, it says Wraith can now jump while performing this ability. Okay, so basically Wraith snipe ability, you can jump and use knock. Okay, his who's there ability, the mana cost has been decreased from 65 to 25 at all levels. Also, his back it up ability, mana cost has been decreased from 100 to 70 at all levels. Okay, guys. Wukong, his staff of legend. The offensive stance, it says now knocks the enemies aside if they receive a glancing blow. Now stuns for 1.2, 1.4, and 1.6 seconds if an enemy is hit by the primary knockback. Okay, Cloud Walker, slam distance can now be aimed, movement speed slow updated. So yeah, just a bunch of little stuff. So on to Yin. Yin's backlash mana cost has been decreased. Lash kick, her directional hop now takes 20% less time to complete. So which means it'll be a slightly faster animation. Confirmation change to quick cast, and damage increases at all levels of their ability. Wind burn, mana cost decrease from 40 to 25, and her quelling gale, slow magnitude increase from 20 to 60%. Okay, and then it's Zinx. I think this is the last one, guys. Zinx, bad medicine, says initial wave now applies 25, 30, 35, and 40% slow for 2 seconds. Kitty Claws, base damage has been increased at each level, and her power rating has been increased / decreased from 0.66 to 0.72. Ricochet stun now has base damage of 82, 129, 176, and 222, and a power scaling of 1.67. The stun duration has been moved from 1 second base with additional 0.25 seconds to 1.2 base with an additional 0.2 second per bounce. Dirty healing from damage taken decreased from 50% to 30%. Alright guys, so that's just about it for the heroes. It says starter decks have been updated and increased from 8 to 12 cards. As a result, one copy of each of the following cards has been granted, and then it shows a whole bunch of cards that have been granted. So if you guys want to read on that, go ahead and go to the patch notes and read it. Okay, so the death cards, finder. Now I'm going over the cards, guys. So the death, the finder of playthemes card increased slow magnitude from 20 to 30% and reduced cooldown from 80 to 55 seconds. Grinning Spectre increased projectile speed from 600 to 700. As well, it reduced the Spectre formation time from 2 to 1.5 seconds and increased execution threshold from 15 to 20%. So my take on that is Grinning Spectre, guys, has gotten a buff, a slight buff. Okay, Nameless Curse, increased ability damage dealt from 65 per second for 18 seconds for 1,040 total damage to 80 damage per second for 14 seconds. So the damage has been increased, but the duration has been decreased for Nameless Curse. Nameless Curse is a great card for Mortgage, guys. But yeah, so that card has gotten a buff. Now it now does 1,120 damage over 14 seconds, as opposed to 1,040 damage over 18 seconds. Okay. Plague Lord Malink, reduced slow magnitude from 15 to 10%. So that seems like a nerf. Possessed Sprite Can. Oh my goodness, here we go, guys. Possessed Sprite Can, it has been nerfed. It has a health regen reduced from 12.5 to 10. Okay. Taskmaster no longer grants gold when executing your own minion. And Withering Shadow has been nerfed again, guys. Reduced damage per second from 55 to 45. Okay, so that was death. Knowledge Accelerator, reduce cost from 1500 gold to 1200 gold. Black Ice Routine, these are card names, guys. Black Ice Routine, increase slow magnitude from 30 to 50%. Cryo Agent, increase power from 13 to 18. Increase slow magnitude from 20 to 30%. Reduce cooldown from 2.5 to 2 seconds. Echelon Soldier, reduce fade duration from 1.5 to 1 second. Generator, reduce cost from 1200 gold to 1000. Okay. Mana Flow Acolyte, now displays stat count on status bar. Fixed an issue where Mana Flow Acolyte was incorrectly granting 1% point per point instead of 0.5%. Okay. OPD Militia, increase damage from 100 to 200, from 100 to 120 damage. Rejuvenator, okay, nice. I like to use this card. Increase total health restored from 120 to 160. Increase mana restored from 100 to 130. Stasis Rune, increased cooldown. Reduced cooldown from 45 to 25 seconds. And Thaumaturge, it says empowering mana now correctly displays the power gain from your max mana. Okay. Order. Now this is the order category now. Brilliant Fortification, reduced cost from 1000 gold, 3 intellect to 500 gold, 3 intellect. Okay, so basically minus 500 gold, guys. Crippling Glare, fixed an issue where status effect applied to enemy didn't indicate it was coming from Crippling Glare. Domain of Stillness, reduced cooldown from 75 to 55 seconds and reduced the mana cost from 100 to 75. Okay, I think this is we got a new card, guys. Form of Grubbish. It says granted 1 copy to all players. It says cost 13 intellect. The stats on this card, guys, this is a new card called Form of Grubbish. It says 15 power, 180 max health, and 210 max mana. And it has an active called Metamorphosis. It says morph target enemy hero into a bug for 3 seconds. Players cannot use abilities or attack while morphed. Wow, that's a pretty good card. I like that card. So that card was Form of Grubbish. Let me see if I can find it here. And this is in the order category. Let me see. Form of Grubbish. Here it goes, guys. This is that new card that I just read out, okay? Form of Grubbish. So you guys go ahead and take a look at that. Okay. Then Gates of Salvation now displays a cooldown. Stagnant Dominion. This was a good Iggy card, or whoever you use it on. Stagnant Dominion. Increase slow magnitude from 20 to 30%. Increase duration from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. And then it has a little side note. Lieutenant Bellica's Void Drone mana drain no longer applies Stagnant Dominion slow. And Iggy and Scorch's Burning Sensation passive no longer applies a Stagnant Dominion slow. Okay. Yomi Guardian increased damage block from 70 to 100 and reduced cooldown from 80 to 55 seconds. Okay, Growth, Apex Predator. Adjusted cost from 2 vitality, 5 intellect to 7 intellect. Increased power from 10 to 13. Now grants 18 ability defense. No longer grants attack speed. Reduce max stack count from 40 to 30. Reduce ability defense bonus when at max stacks from 24 to 18. And reduce cooldown from 4 to 3 seconds. Chanting Shaman. Increase mana regen from allies from 50 to 75%. Exoskeleton has been reworked. It says removed. No longer reduces damage taken from enemy heroes by 6. The new passive on it is called Living Armor. Regenerate 30 health over 3 seconds after taking damage. And it has a 6-second cooldown. Okay, so let me take a look at that, guys. Let me let you guys take a look at that. So go ahead and look at that. Okay. Malink Nasher, increased damage increase per stack from 4% to 5%. Sprykin, adjusted cost from 2 vitality, 4 intellect to 1 vitality and 5 intellect. Thunder Cleaver, increased damage from 100% basic attack to 125% basic attack. Trapper, increased slow magnitude from 2% per stack to 5% per stack with a max of 10 stacks. Increased root duration from 1 second to 1.5 seconds. Vengeful Mire, increased slow magnitude from 15% to 30%. Reduced slow duration from 3 seconds to 2.5. Okay, guys, now to Chaos. Not much. Oh, Deathcrawler. Okay, it says this is big, guys. Deathcrawler, abilities which are considered a basic attack that cannot crit no longer place Deathcrawler's passive on cooldown. Okay, cannot crit no longer. Okay, so basically, I guess that's for Grux, guys. So there's your answer to the Grux Deathcrawler. Let me see. Living Guardian, Deal Riot Sapper, Tireless Reaper. Yeah. Okay. Alright, guys, and then just a little change in the gems. Mana Reactor, increased damage taken per 1 mana restored from 6 to 7, and Reflexive Purify, increased damage taken threshold before it cleanse from 300 to 400. And that'll just about do it, guys. I don't really care about the UI. That's basically you versus the computer. If you guys want to read the rest of the patch notes, be sure to go to epicgames.com/Paragon, and all the patch notes are there for you guys. So thank you to everyone who's dropped by, and for everyone who stayed this whole time. I know it's been a long video. I probably should have, I might actually go back and just do smaller videos on the cards, maybe a smaller video on the heroes, and maybe on the lane changes. But thank you for everyone who's been staying here this whole time. I am going to stream in a little bit. I have to get off to take care of a little business, but I'm going to stream probably around 11 a.m. and I'm going to stream again at 5 p.m. These are Pacific time, aka West Coast time. I'm in California, so if you're on the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead of me. But yeah, guys, please be sure to subscribe if you like what you heard. This was a very long patch. It was a lot to read. I'm tired of reading already. I've been out of school for a long time, so I really didn't feel like reading. But I did this for you guys, and thank you so much, guys, for supporting me. It's your boy, call me Young, aka Young Top 21, and I'm gone.